more can I ask? And let's see if this Kindle will work now. It was all set at page. Right, here we go. Chapter 3, My Spirit Lion. It's got a name before. Can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to try. Not on this anyway. Our first introduction came through a dream, or rather the same reoccurring nightmare that had been terrifying me since childhood. A huge male lion with a golden mane was staring down at me while I was sleeping, and sometimes his massive visage was so close he literally upon me, opening jawed, breathing in my own face and roaring. Time and time again this lurid vision reoccurred, jerking me out of sleep. I found myself sitting upright, screaming with deep-rooted terror. The dream had become so persistent I could no longer ignore it. However, when sharing it with Maria, she smiled knowingly and explained that, of course, was my lion was roaring at me because I was screaming at him. Once I embraced him lovingly as my lion guardian, only then could he and I work as one. She also informed me that my lion guardian would now make an appearance in the physical form. What more, she said mysteriously, would I recognise my special lion without any doubt in my heart? How, I asked. Because he has wings, she said. From what I learned of the elevated spiritual overtones of the white lions, it didn't surprise me that those legendary beasts may be associated with the angelic lion, symbolic bearers of the spiritual enlightenment, such as the winged lion of St. Mark at Cambridge University. I studied heraldic type emblems and taken them to be symbols merely, part lion, part eagle, but Maria suggested that this mythical creature would soon make an appearance in the flesh. Not only was this ancestral lion my spiritual guide and guardian, but he was also, in fact, a proud male ruling over Tambata region. Furthermore, she explained, my lion had long since known of my presence in Tambata. Don't even know if that. Sorry if that's a wrong pronunciation. He was awaiting my recognition of him. She also informed me that he carried the secret code and would be a pre-generator of the future white lions, bringing the royal lineage back to the wild after many years of extinction. Ignited by an excitement deep within my soul, I determined to venture out into the bushfield and to look for him as soon as possible. That night, after Maria's prediction of an impending meeting between my lion guardian and me, I stayed awake all night. Through the long hours, I lay in the reed hut, listening to the roars of the territory's dominant male. Was this the Lion King, who would, according to Maria, shortly declare himself to me? The next morning, I cautiously joined Tsonga trackers who had picked up his paw prints, which led directly past my rendezvous, and into the bushfield. We followed his huge paw prints, but after a distance his tracks suddenly disappeared. We picked up pug marks again, only for them to be dematerialised a few paces later. Losing tracks is not unusual in the bushfield, but afterwards, thinking back with a smile, I realised experience was like following a lion who kept taking wing. They landed again a little further on before taking off again. Hours later, we finally found my lion guardian in the middle of the bushfield wilderness on gravelling land strip, where the occasional light aircraft might land. Carrying a warden veterinarian, he was a monumental male, truly magnificent in his prime, standing proudly, with the aviation windstock fluttering orange and white behind him. Like the heraldic flag, my lion had landed. Even upon my first sighting of this great lion, I felt an instant connection, a soul bond. His laser-sharp eye contact stirred a deep familiarity in my consciousness. He had a Maltese cross on his forehead, formed by a double band of dark fur from his mane. Maria referred to such beings as lions of God, and said that they naturally carried sacred encodings in their physiological makeup. which I have since witnessed for myself. There could be no better symbol of the winged lion in Timbafta. Batia. Can I say that right? I want to laugh out loud, and I couldn't wait to return to Maria with joy in my heart. In that instant, I remembered the ancient Tusonga meaning of the Timbata, the place where angelic lions came down. And the landing strip, it turned out, was one of the main localities for rare white lion sightings in previous decades, when these luminous winged lions were spotted in Timbata. Timbatia. Sorry. Declaring himself to me in this way seemed to corroborate Maria's information that he was the bearer of the white gene and held the genetic master code that would return the white lion lineage to Timbata. As this dominant male of the region, he had pride of place in mating with other females from different prides. This meant that if he was the last surviving gene bearer, he had a good chance of passing on his rare genes. Genetic laws of inheritance would suggest the materialization of white lions not in the next generation, but the following one. From this moment on, I had accepted the amazing fact that this lion in Guava was simultaneously alive as a physical lion in the Timbata, as well as wise, elevated guide in my dream, a luminous presence. Both I had no option but to take him with the seriousness he demanded of me. Whenever this magnificent beast appeared in my dreams, I felt the ancient connection all over again. Ingwavna was the name given to him by the rangers in that region, but when I returned, Maria informed me of another name, one she called his secret spirit name. The meaning of his secret name was Wise One of Great Knowledge. Maria took my encounter with the Wise One as a sign she'd been waiting for. The dream messages I'd shared with her and sudden manifestations of this dream lion in the flesh both served to validate my authenticity for her. It was shortly after this real-life meeting with Ingwanwa that Maria revealed the ancient title of the ancestry had bestowed on me. Mungala wa Naga Yobasa, keeper of the white lions, a mantle of great responsibility and gravity, the full seriousness of which I was yet to comprehend. Oh. And that's just chapter 3 of Saving the White Lions with Linda Turker, and it's actually a true story and it's absolutely amazing. And there is a Facebook page of Saving the White Lions, so I'm just going to leave that with you, and I wish you love and send you light, and maybe you could put it